guys want an update? You want to know what I'm doing? What's going on with this thing? Okay, hold on. Let me turn this off. Ain't good for nothing. Put a man 6 feet in a hole. Oh, sorry. Back to the car. Woo! Okay, so we've been scratching our heads, actually beating our heads on the wall, that is, over this wiring. So I'm going to give you as best of a rundown as I can. We were trying to put the car together, and unbeknownst to me, there was other issues. Sweet. So once upon a time, before the car was restored, before I started working on it, there was a little issue in here with said key. And the story goes is that customer was driving it and they would turn the key on and then it would get stuck. You couldn't get it to return to come out. So he took it to a guy and they fiddle-dicked around with it for a long time and gave him a story. They took this, and normally it's bolted up to the bottom of all this junk in here with this bracket, see? So this bracket goes around the bottom, the steering column, and that holds that, and then that holds that up. Well, these ignition switches, they have a rod back here. You see this little rod right here? Oh, it's too bright. Yeah, right there. You can see that rod and that little electrical box. Let me see if I can put this up here so I can point for you guys. Nope, higher than that. Oh, come on, flashlight. I know you want to do me some justice here. Okay, I'm getting close. All right, so, fuck. Okay, we're back. All right, so now that the light's in there and I can point at stuff. So when you turn this key here, you'll see right back here, you'll see this little rod. Okay, so that little rod goes into this electrical box. This is the ignition box, and so when you turn the key, it pushes, and then it goes into different detented locations in here, and then through these wires it sends power to the various locations. Okay, well, the shop that was working on this couldn't get this to work the way it was supposed to, so their solution was, and what they told the customer is, well, when it's bolted all the way up tight, it doesn't work, but if we just leave it loose a little bit like this and gap it out, it's fine. It'll be fine. And that's kind of the way they gave it back to him. So inside here, inside this box, obviously there's been a problem for a long time. And then when we were working on the car yesterday, we were having extreme inconsistent lighting and wiring issues with the key. We were trying to get the starter to engage with the key. And we couldn't get there. And we also couldn't get lights. We were having a hard time getting flashers at the front and consistent stuff all the way around. So part of the other thing that I noticed, this has got a floor shift in it, and in 72 they did the key lockout, so you have to have the key in the on position in order to shift the shifter. Well, that stuff was all deleted at some point too. So let's get my light back. So up here in the steering column, there's normally supposed to be a rod back here, and you guys can kind of see, you see that little eyelet that's down there right underneath that motor? So that's on the steering column, which goes up to the neutral safety switch. So the neutral safety switch is this guy right here. And it sits on the back of the column, way back there in the back. So that way when you shift this out of park or into park, it's got a rod. There's a little bracket on the transmission, and then there's a rod that runs across the firewall and vertically up to the steering column. So that way when you pull this back, it rocks the neutral safety switch, which is this little trigger right here. So this little thing sits inside the steering column, and when you shift the shifter, it wants to push this over like this. And so all the way over here is park and neutral, and then when it gets to right here, it turns our reversey lights on. So we weren't getting reverse lights yesterday either, which now we got super sweet reverse light action going on. Okay, so we figured out that the neutral safety switch has been bad for a long time, because part of the complaint was that when the customer shifted it into park, he could just barely unbind it out of park. So a second shop told him that rod up there is useless. That rod's for a column shift car, which has a column shifter on here, and so when you have a floor shift, you don't need that. And so they went ahead and just pulled that rod out of there and threw it all in the trash. Without that rod, you're never going to you're never going to get the reverse lights to work. One, because this won't actuate and throw power to the reverse lights through these two wires right here. And number two, anywhere this shifter position would be, you could go ahead and do that, which is not what we want at all. So today I replaced the ignition switch. I verified and bypassed. Sorry, stereo's working. Yeah. I bypassed the neutral safety switch to verify that that's what we had going on. And then also the turn signal switch, sender, whatever, thingamabobjigger. This is this plastic thing that's in here. We were fighting this yesterday real bad. So this is an integrated unit. It controls the turn signals and it controls the hazards. Well, when we were trying to use hazards, we were only getting power to either the front or the back. I don't remember. We were only getting power to one side of it. And then when we tried to use the flashers, the signals, they weren't working correctly either. And also this was really loose and funky and jacked up feeling. Well, so we went ahead and replaced that today. These wires run down in the sleeve of the column, you know, like this. So we had to fish these wires in through that little hole and pull those all the way down there and then reconnect these pigtails. And of course the new aftermarket switch doesn't have the same connector here and here. So rather than making the right one, they supply us with an adapter plug. So now I go from this one to the adapter plug, out of the adapter plug, into the factory harness. So that stuff's all working now. You guys see my flasher video earlier? We got LED flashage going on. So we're in good shape on that. So basically, systems are all tested, lighting's all working, everything's all happy. My headlights and my dimmer switch turned out to be correct. So we just got to make some adjustments on headlights. And those are all good. They look super cool on the front of this car. So we're pretty much 85, maybe 90% on lighting. We were also able to verify our interior circuits. So now I've got a light in the heater, and my dome light, LED dome lights are all working now too. So the last thing I got to do is throw the fan box in and then tuck and tidy up all this stuff. Client should be bringing me neutral safety switch and the rod and a couple other things that we need here middle of the week, so I should be able to just, fingers crossed, throw that stuff together when it comes in. So that's where we are on inside. And then being as we got there, I went ahead and verified my wiring up here and retucked it down to the starter, and I've got my starter wires redone down there, and we are, as you could hear, working from the key to the engine starter. Oh, that's all good. Orange wire for the heater, and then I'm just gonna tidy the rest of this stuff back up here tomorrow morning and get that stuff all covered up. Batteries in place, lights are good, Oh, we're in pretty good shape up here. It's kind of where we got today. Felt a lot better today. I did have some hiccups. I had to run and exchange that ignition switch. Turns out that there's like 6 ignition switches listed for this thing. You got tilt, non-tilt, AC, non-AC, small block, big block, console, non-console. I had the wrong one. Chose poorly. What do you do? But anyway, that's where we made it on El Camino. I'm gonna have to throw this on the editor because I, fumbled with the light earlier. So appreciate you guys watching. If you could do me a solid, make sure you hit that like button down there for me. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not a gimmick. I'm not trying to ploy on you for anything. It really is just about reaching more people. The more people that smash that like button for me and the more people that share my videos, then the more people see it and the more people I can reach. So really, that's all it is about growth, and we do all this ourselves. So anything you guys can do to help us, we really appreciate it. But anyway, cars are looking good. Shop's looking good. We're down to D-Day with transition period, so we should have a lot of stuff here ship shaping and moving around here in the shop here pretty quick. So appreciate you guys. Kick ass in the rest of the week, and I'll give you another update later on. Take care. See you soon.